What's up, Blue Collar family? It's me, Tommy Nichols, coming at you from Nichols Ranch up in beautiful Schmuckle in Santa Rosa County, Florida. First off, the cowboy hat. I'm wearing this for my brother Sam. It's his new little kick. He's bringing cowboy hats back, he says. So, this is for you, little brother. Anyway, with that said, I hope you guys are all well, and the man upstairs is smiling brightly down upon you all today. We're going to hit up a proposed bill that, if enacted, could change our elections for a very long time, if not forever. It's some wild stuff, that's for sure. I heard about this a little while back, but it seems that they're rolling it out and they're going to attempt to push it through. It's some crazy stuff, guys, and I got to give a big shout out first off to the Gateway Pundit for covering it when so many aren't, and they do not want to put any light onto it. They just want to sneak it on through. But Gateway's trying to inform folks. I'm trying to inform folks. There's a lot of other great people doing the same thing. People need to be aware of this. But anyways, guys, with that said, let's roll. There's a lot of stuff in this, but it's stuff you need to hear, stuff you need to know. So, as usual, sit back, relax, pop a top, and take a ride with BCB. Let's roll. Okay, guys, let's hit it. Democrats introduced their first bill in the House, H.R. 1. It's the bill that will destroy America. It says, nationwide mail-in voting, banning restrictions on ballot harvesting, banning voter ID, criminal voters, D.C. statehood road work. It's all here. They took a big swing. They're trying to hit a grand slam right at the start right here, guys. Let's jump into it. We're going to hit a couple of them. We're going to go over. I'm going to name them all. We're going to talk about some of them. We're going to get through this. Number 1, internet-only registration with electronic signature submission. Okay, so this will allow online voter registration and makes it a heck of a lot easier for someone to not have to prove who they are, basically. Can't see anything going wrong there, right? Identification theft, all kind of stuff, you name it. Number 2, banning the requirement to provide a full social security number for voter registration. So this will prohibit the state from requiring applicants to provide more than just the last 4 of your social security number. Guys, your social security proves you are an American citizen. So it basically means anybody can vote. Yet again, can't see anything going wrong with that. Number 3, nationwide motor voter registration. This right here is how thousands upon thousands of illegals became registered voters in California and Nevada. And now they see how great it worked there for them. So now, let's push it nationwide. I've always said California is the left's utopia. And they do all they could to turn America like it. So there's a step toward it right there. Number 4, 16-year-olds required to be registered to vote. You know, I'm sorry, guys, but at 16, you're still a child. And you're still developing, trying to figure out who and, well, nowadays, what you are. And they want this because they know that you tend to think a certain way. And they tend to lean to the left. But the older you get, the more mature you become, you tend to think toward the center and the right. So this is why they are pushing so hard for this youth be able to vote thing right here. And it's hit a couple different times in here, you'll see. Number 5, nationwide same-day registration. So basically there's an election going on. Okay, it's people down the road voting. You ride by there, hey, heck, I want to go vote. Well, okay, let's go register right here. They'll probably have them set up right there in front of the voting precinct. Go in, register, boom, go vote. No betting, none of that. Can't see anything going wrong with that. Right? This is crazy, crazy stuff, guys. Absolutely nuts. Number 6, grants $25 million for using minors in election activities. I told you, you'd see they bring up kids again, and they're going to come up right after this one at number 7. More children voting. More children voters is number 7. They are pushing and pushing hard for the youth to be able to vote. And it's very scary. Very scary. Now, granted, a lot of the youth are actually leaning more conservative. But that trend is just starting. And it happened because of President Trump. He's the one that started that precedent. But the problem is there's way, way, way more that are set in stone about vote to the left. They don't care. They vote with what's on their mind at that moment. We're going to save the world. Vote Democrat. Boom. They don't look at the other things other problems it's going to cause. They vote on emotion. Okay, number 7 was more children voters. Okay. Let's see. I think I skipped one somewhere. Anyway, yes, I did. Number 8, prohibiting attempts to clean voter rolls of non-residents. I don't even need to say anything. We've been seeing this pop up time after time in this past election cycle. And it's as if the more cluttered it is, the more problems you have out there, the easier it is for them to manipulate. So they want to throw as much clutter and clust as they can into it. It's sad. It really is. It really, truly is. Number 9, murderers and rapists can vote. That is in there. Guys, you that know me know how I feel on this right here. I've worked in the prisons, worked in law enforcement, so you know where I stand on that. A lot of people do a lot of bad things. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Not one bit. But when you go to that link right there, you're done. You're done. Anyway, murderers and rapists can vote. Pretty much says it all. Number 10, mandatory early voting. It says, in general, each state shall allow individuals to vote in an election for federal office during an early voting period which occurs prior to the date of the election, in the same manner as voting is allowed on such date. Anything they can do to get an edge, right? Number 11, it's a big one. And I'm going to be hitting on a lot of the wording that they have in here and a lot of definitions and stuff so you can get the full aspect of it. Nationwide vote by mail, ban on ballot protection measures, legalize limitless ballot harvesting. 1. In general, if an individual in a state is eligible to cast a vote in an election for federal office, the state may not impose any additional conditions or requirements on the eligibility of the individual to cast the vote in such election by absentee ballot by mail. 1A. Prohibiting identification requirement as condition of obtaining ballot. A state may not require an individual to provide any form of identification as a condition of obtaining an absentee ballot, except that nothing in this paragraph may be construed to prevent a state from requiring a signature of the individual or similar affirmation as a condition of obtaining an absentee ballot. 1B. Prohibiting requirement to provide notarization or witness signature as a condition of obtaining or casting a ballot. A state may not require notarization or witness signature or other formal authentication as a condition of obtaining or casting an absentee ballot. 2. Permitting voters to designate other persons to return ballot. 2A, shall permit a voter to designate any person to return a voted and sealed absentee ballot to the post office, a ballot drop-off location, tribally designated building, or election official office, so long as the person designated to return the ballot does not receive any form of compensation based on the number of ballots that the person has returned, and no individual, group, or organization provides compensation on the basis. This is crazy, guys. Yet again, I'm going to say it again. Can't see anything going wrong there, huh? 2B, may not put any limit on how many voted and sealed absentee ballots that any designated person can return to the post office, a ballot drop-off location, tribally designated building, or election office. So, basically turning people into mules, voting mules. I'm sorry, I got to take a second. This is blowing my mind right here. And you know what's even scarier? Is there's a good chance this could become a law. Very good. Number 12, banning voter ID. It says, in general, except as provided in subsection C, if a state has in fact a requirement that an individual present identification as a condition of receiving and casting a ballot in an election for federal office, the state shall permit the individual to meet the requirement. 1A. In the case of an individual who desires to vote in person by presenting the appropriate state or local election official with a sworn written statement signed by the individual under penalty of perjury, attesting to the individual's identity and attesting that the individual is eligible to vote in the election. Okay. How many times have we seen it? Antifa, them cats, they break the law, they're out the next day, no charges are brought against them. You swear this is who you are, sir? Yeah, sure, why not? Knowing good and well it's not, because they know that they're not going to be charged as long as they vote left. Disgusting. And the last one, it's a doozy, just like all the others. Number 13. Lucky 13, right? Road work for statehood for Washington, D.C. and territory statehood. It's pretty much what it says. They want D.C. and Puerto Rico in. Why? Well, because they lean left. And that means more power for the left. I guarantee you, if D.C. and Puerto Rico were right-leaning, you know that wouldn't be in there. That wouldn't even be an option. But guys, there it is, my friends. Go back, look over any part you wish. It can be found at thegatewaypundit.com. And it just goes to show you all they care about is never-ending control. Not about helping America. Not one bit. It's all about staying in control. Keeping power. That's all these people want. They're sick. And I'm sorry, it is what it is. Pray. Be heard. Stand up. And never give up or give in, guys. Keep the light of liberty forever aglow in your hearts, patriots. And you know, I gotta say it. I know it's crazy. Times are wild, but we're gonna get through it. Remember, we are Americans. And facing the impossible and overcoming it, well, that's just simply what we do. I'm Tommy Nichols. This is the Blue Collar Voice. God bless you. God bless America. Toodles.